Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is C.O.D with C.O.D Outdoors. Thanks for clicking on this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, how about smashing that subscribe button and hitting that bell so you get notifications for every video that we post. And we do our best to post one video a week. Usually on Wednesday is when we post our videos. But thanks for coming today. Thanks for clicking on this video. Thanks for the interest. Today we are outdoors on a beautiful evening that God has given us out in the woods here in West Virginia, southern West Virginia. Today, guys, I had on mind is how to set up a perimeter alarm around your camp. Now, these are not going to be permanent alarms, maybe for an overnight or something like that. Maybe if you got some kind of animal in the area that you want to be alerted of if it comes into your camp, such as bear, coyote, or whatever. Or maybe an intruder, you know, some person, which we hope never happens. But anyway, guys, we've got two different methods, two different types that we're going to set up today, and hopefully they work. And you guys will be learning along with me. And I know I'm going to be using the inner core of some 550 paracord, and I know that's white. That would not be a great choice to set up a tripwire, but I'm doing it today so you can see it, so it'll be highly visible, so that we can know what we're doing, guys. But if you're setting up a tripwire for a perimeter alarm around your camp, you're going to want that line to be invisible. So you might want to get some spider wire, you know, for fishing, something of that nature, maybe in a green or gray or a translucent color. Something like that is what you want to use. But I'm going to use the inner core of this paracord today so that we can see it and it's highly visible and we can see what we're doing. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, guys, for this first perimeter alarm, these are the items that you will need. Now, you're not going to find these in the woods. This will be something you'll have to prep beforehand. Like if you've already got making an alarm on your mind, this is what you do. You get some kind of beverage can, aluminum can of some sorts, whatever you drink, paracord, ink pen with a pop lid, not the click type, with the pop-off lid, a couple of nuts off of a bolt, a couple rubber bands, a small one and a larger one. That's the items we're going to be using for the first perimeter alarm. Let's start getting it set up, guys. And keep in mind this won't be usable after we're done, so make sure it's an old pin you don't want. And make sure it's got the cap like this, not the click kind. We can't use that. Alright, let's take that cap off. We're going to take our knife and pop this little cap off the end here of our pin. And pop that little cap off. We won't need it, so we'll set it to the side. What we're going to want to do, guys, is go down probably about as long as this cap is. Not counting this, but from here down. Okay, now we have this piece. We'll set that aside. We probably won't need that anymore. Unless this is too long, I may have to trim it down some. What we're going to do with this piece is take this smaller rubber band, and it's going to go through here. Okay, we've got a rubber band through. And what I like to do is put one finger on here to keep that from springing back. Take one of the nuts from the bolt, run the rubber band through it. Okay, like this. And then just wrap that loop back around your bolt, your nut, like that. Wrap it back around the nut like that so it stays together. Do the same on the other end. Take that loop, just push the nut back through, and that's what we're going to have. Is that right there? That's what it's going to look like with that rubber band through the tube and the two nuts from the bolts connected. Now what we're going to have to do, guys, is find us two two strong sticks that we can attach to the sides of this. We want them to come up on each side. Got two sticks here. We want to have one on each side of this. And what we're going to want to do, I'm going to make a couple indentions here. What I'm doing is hitting the side of this with my knife, guys. This aluminum gives pretty easy, so I'm just giving that stick a channel to lay in so it doesn't tend to slip as easy. You see there what I'm talking about? Just so it stays in place. I'm just going to put it around. I've got a cinch knot in here. Just going to cinch it down the best I can. If I can keep these mosquitoes off of me. I'm just going to make sure this is tight enough to do what I want it to do, guys. Since this rubber band is a little long, I'm going to double it up here just to add to the strength. Again, guys, you're learning with me. We're learning together, so if you have any suggestions on how we could do this better, just put them down in the comments. Wind this up tight, guys. That way it lasts longer. See how we get that sound? And to set the trip, this piece is going to be our trigger mechanism. So what we've got to do is get a piece of that paracord through the end of this and puncture a hole in it, or whatever you have on hand to use to do that with. And once it goes through there, I'm going to take this little cap okay. So I just cut the end off of that cap, guys. Made a little cylinder, and I'm going to tie that to the end of this to keep my rope from slipping back through that trigger mechanism. A stopper on the end of that, so when I pull it back in here, it's not going to pull through. That's all that's for. You could tie a piece of twig on it, but we already have the components of this pin handy, so I'm just putting them to use. Okay, I got a place here with this at the base of this birch tree where the root forms back, and it makes a great place to put this trip alarm. And what I've done, guys, is where the can has a hole where you drink, I just put a stick in the ground and my can will slide right down on top of it to hold it in place. And we can add some camouflaging to that by just adding some debris that's laying around, because you know, if you set a tripwire, you don't want everybody seeing it and knowing it's there, and you want it to be as inconspicuous as you can. All right, let's wind up our trigger. Got the trigger wound, so I'm just going to put well, we've got the alarm wound, so I'm going to put the trigger device in here. Like that. Well, I call that a success, guys. It's not real loud, but If you could just imagine in the middle of the night out in the woods, nothing going on, and you hear that sound from your tent or your tarp, shelter, wherever you may be, your hammock, you're going to be alerted that something's close, something's nearby. All right, guys, these two trees are going to be a crucial part of our next trip alarm. And all we're going to need for this one is some sticks out of the woods and some paracord. That's all we're going to need. And now I'm going to put the outside shield of the paracord to use in this one. So let's get started. We're putting a piece of paracord around both of these trees, and we're going to leave it a little loose and tie a knot in it right there. So we've got that piece of paracord through our tree. What I'm going to do with these guys is make like a wind chime. There's going to be a cord across here. That other piece that I had left is going to go across here, and I'm going to hang these down off of it. Alright guys, we've made it this far. We've got our wind chimes, that's what we're going to call them, hanging here. And here's our loose piece of paracord that we put up first. You may have to adjust it some, and you may have to adjust yours some if you're making this setup. We've got our loose piece of paracord. We just need another stick, maybe a foot or so long. And we're going to line this up, guys, as tight as we want it. Make sure there's some good tension on the line. And then we're going to take another stick that fits across this distance. And this is going to go against it here. See, it all holds it in place. And then we've got a smaller twig that we're going to use for our trigger mechanism. So what we do is we put our trigger against that. I'll get a little more tension on that. Make sure these are in a position where our stick's going to hit them once it releases. Alright guys, here's our trigger mechanism. This is just held up by the pressure from the stick that we twisted. And when it releases, what it's going to do is it's going to flap and hit these other sticks up here. But this particular alarm needs a tile point down here on the ground, like an eye, for this to run through. So what I come up with was to take me a stick like this. This was a limb this way, but you want to look at it upside down. And I'm just going to push this in the ground here if I can. Okay guys, here's our trigger mechanism under the eye. And it just runs up here to this. Ties off to this. And this is under tension because we twisted it. This is only held on by the tension this is under. And here's our chimes. I know that didn't make a ton of noise. It would be a lot better with some cans. But anyway guys, I hope you learned something from this. I hope you can take something away from it. If not, I've failed. But I hope you can take something away from this that will help you in your camping adventures or whatever they may be. Thanks for clicking on the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up and smash that like button, guys. The more you hit like, the more you comment. You know, I have a low comment rate on my channel. I hope that you guys will start commenting, whatever it is, just to say hi or just to say whatever. I don't care. Just leave a comment, hit the like button, and share my videos. I'd like to see my channel grow. As soon as I hit 500, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I'll do more of an announcement on that in the future. Thanks for coming today, guys. Have a blessed day in Jesus' name.